you to live as a receiver of truth. Receptivity opens awareness. Stillness attracts guidance. Presence replaces seeking as you realize that guidance arrives most clearly when you soften the mental grasp and allow the heart to lead. Insight arrives naturally as you create space for it. Awareness rests in openness as you treat your inner environment as sacred, as you honor silence, and as you allow your breath to be your companion. Answers emerge through listening. Listening begins in the body as a sensitivity to subtle cues. Listening continues in the heart as a sense of resonance. Listening clarifies in the mind as a simple understanding that arrives whole. Grace unfolds effortlessly when you stop forcing outcomes and start allowing alignment. Consciousness stabilizes through trust as you develop a relationship with your inner guidance and as you honor that relationship through consistency. Being completes intention because your state shapes your signal and your signal shapes your experience. Fulfillment expresses itself as you align with what feels true and life-affirming. You experience receiving as a gentle flow of ideas, a gentle flow of timing, and a gentle flow of support that meets you when you remain open. Your openness becomes a practice. Your openness becomes your path. Receiving also refines your discernment because you learn to recognize the difference between mental noise and soul guidance. Soul guidance carries simplicity. Soul guidance carries calm. Soul guidance carries kindness. Soul guidance carries a sense of alignment that feels steady. You learn to trust what arrives through resonance, and resonance becomes your compass in a world filled with signals. Your compass strengthens as you return to breath, return to the present moment, and return to the willingness to listen before you move. This mode of living carries you into stabilization as a phase of mastery, because receiving supports integration, and integration supports stability, and stability becomes your new baseline. As you receive and integrate, your identity simplifies, your priorities clarify, your nervous system settles into a calmer rhythm, your heart opens into a deeper, quieter joy. Stabilization becomes your friend. Stabilization becomes your foundation. Stabilization becomes the platform from which your next expansions occur with ease. And so we move into the next section, where stabilization becomes a phase of mastery and a sign of deep integration. Balance becomes baseline as your system integrates the higher frequencies and makes them ordinary. Joy deepens quietly as your heart relaxes into a sense of belonging with life itself. Identity simplifies naturally as you release roles, stories, and inner conflicts that once demanded attention. Wisdom matures as you become more patient with yourself and more compassionate with others. Presence anchors frequency. Anchored frequency creates steadiness. Steadiness creates clarity. Clarity creates aligned action. Aligned action creates a life that feels coherent. Expansion stabilizes as you honor your rhythms and as you treat rest as sacred. Ease replaces fluctuation as your field learns how to hold a higher baseline without strain. Awareness integrates fully as you allow the double helix wave to settle into your daily life, into your relationships, and into your creative expression. Coherence persists through gentle consistency. Consciousness settles as you recognize your progress through your peace. Your inner world becomes quieter. Your responses become softer. Your capacity to remain present increases. Your ability to witness life without contraction strengthens. Stabilization becomes a form of mastery because it signals true integration. Stabilization also prepares you for service through presence. because a stable field transmits coherence into the environments you enter. Your calm influences others. Your kindness influences others. Your clarity influences others. Your steadiness gives permission for others to settle into their own hearts. You become a point of regulation in the collective, and you become that point through being rather than through effort. This stabilization supports your creative flow because a stable nervous system and a coherent heart allow inspiration to move through you. Inspiration becomes practical. Practical becomes beautiful. Beautiful becomes generous. Generous becomes service. You discover that your life becomes the space through which frequency expresses itself, and this expression carries you into living as the transmission. Living as the transmission means your presence teaches, your presence comforts, your presence awakens, your presence stabilizes. This becomes the next natural phase, and we move into it now in section 18. Recognize even your presence as a transmission, beloved ones. Presence radiates intelligence. Awareness reorganizes environments through resonance. Being teaches without words, because coherence communicates directly to the body and to the heart. Coherence stabilizes others as your calm invites their systems into regulation and their minds into clarity. Integration expresses wisdom as you move through life with sincerity and gentleness. Stillness communicates truth as your energy carries the frequency of safety, of openness, and of alignment. Embodiment anchors frequency as your choices become congruent with your values and as your actions reflect your inner truth. Consciousness serves naturally when you live in integrity, because integrity generates coherence, and coherence transmits without force. Life reflects realization as you become more consistent in your state, more compassionate in your responses, and more honest in your choices. You embody the message as you recognize that spiritual evolution expresses itself through kindness, through patience, through truth-telling, through listening, and through a steady willingness to remain present with what arises. Your transmission strengthens in shared spaces. Your transmission strengthens in small interactions. Your transmission strengthens in your quiet moments. Your transmission strengthens when you treat your own inner environment as sacred. This way of living changes your relationships. Your presence becomes a gentle invitation for honesty. Your presence becomes a calming influence in conflict. Your presence becomes a mirror that reflects the possibility of peace. This influence happens because your field carries coherence, and coherence reminds others of their own capacity for wholeness. You serve through resonance, and resonance multiplies itself when you choose it again and again. Your transmission also prepares you for expression after integration, because the energy you stabilize seeks creative flow. Creative flow becomes a natural next step once your system holds a higher baseline with ease. You feel impulses to create, to share, to teach, to speak, to build, to write, to sing, to heal, to gather, to lead, to support. These impulses arise from the integrated self, and integrated impulses carry clarity and timing. Expression becomes joyful because expression becomes aligned. Aligned expression becomes sustainable because it rises from coherence. Sustainable expression becomes impactful because it carries truth. And this progression carries us into section 19, where expression after integration becomes the next wave of your unfolding. So, What is the natural flowering that follows integration, you may ask? Creativity flows effortlessly as the double helix wave settles into your life and opens pathways for inspiration to move through you. Service becomes joyful as your contributions arise from abundance and from a calm desire to share. Purpose clarifies naturally because coherence reveals what matters most and simplifies the path toward it. Support appears easily as your signal becomes coherent, because coherent signals draw coherent opportunities. Synchronicity increases as your awareness remains present, because presence perceives the threads that connect events. Wisdom guides action as you learn to move when the impulse carries alignment and to pause when the impulse carries urgency. Awareness engages playfully as you remember that creation includes joy, includes curiosity, and includes experimentation. Expression stabilizes coherence because aligned expression reinforces inner unity. Contribution feels natural when you allow yourself to share from fullness rather than from striving. Expansion continues gently as you recognize your rhythm, your timing, and your capacity. Your life becomes a flowing collaboration between inner guidance and outer action. This phase often feels like momentum that carries ease. You begin to see your gifts as simple. You begin to see your service as ordinary. You begin to see your impact as inevitable. As you express from integration, you also recognize that your creations serve as transmissions. A book carries frequency. A song carries frequency. A business carries frequency. A conversation carries frequency. A gathering carries frequency. A look in the eyes carries frequency. Your field becomes the medium through which your work reaches others, and this means your state matters as much as your skills, because your state carries the energy that makes your expression healing and coherent. This is why your expression stays connected to receptivity. You keep receiving. You keep listening, you keep aligning, you keep integrating, you keep choosing presence. Your life becomes a spiral of receiving, integrating, and expressing. Each spiral expands your capacity. Each spiral deepens your peace. Each spiral strengthens your trust. As your expression ripens, you feel an invitation that remains constant beneath all changes. An invitation toward deeper remembrance, deeper relaxation, and deeper wholeness. This invitation forms the closing movement of our transmission, and we offer it now in section 20. Now let's peek into the ongoing invitation of your becoming. Presence invites remembrance as you return again and again to the truth you feel in your heart. Relaxation supports becoming because relaxation opens your system to receive what life offers. Awareness honors readiness as you listen to your timing and respect your pace. Being fulfills purpose because purpose expresses through your state, and your state shapes your signal. Integration confirms alignment as you experience peace and clarity in the places where you once carried inner conflict. Calm anchors mastery because calm reflects coherence, and coherence reflects integration. Peace expresses power because peace remains steady and creative and clear. Consciousness rests in trust as you recognize guidance in your life and as you allow that guidance to lead. Wholeness reveals itself as you treat every moment as an opportunity to choose presence. You stand at a threshold of collective awakening where the double helix light wave supports sustainable multidimensional living. Your evolution includes your humanity. Your evolution includes your body. Your evolution includes your emotions. Your evolution includes your relationships. Your evolution includes your creativity. Your evolution includes your quiet moments of listening. Your life becomes simpler as you honor these truths. Your path becomes clearer as you trust your inner knowing. We invite you also to continue receiving, because receiving keeps you close to your own guidance. We invite you to continue integrating, because integration stabilizes the frequencies that awaken you. We invite you to continue expressing, because expression shares your coherence with the world. We invite you to continue gathering, because coherent groups strengthen the collective field. We invite you to continue resting, because rest protects your openness. We invite you to continue choosing kindness, because kindness harmonizes your timeline. We invite you to continue choosing honesty, because honesty unifies your system. We invite you to continue choosing presence, because presence carries power. You carry everything you seek within you as a frequency, as a truth, as a living reality that expresses itself through your choices and through your willingness to remain open. Your world responds to your state. Your relationships respond to your state. Your body responds to your state. Your mind responds to your state. Your heart responds to your state. Your spirit responds to your willingness to receive yourself. We walk with you in the frequency of love, in the frequency of clarity, and in the frequency of gentle support. And our connection with you strengthens through your receptivity and through your trust. If you are listening to this, beloved one, you needed to. I leave you now. I am T'eeah of Arcturus.